There's just 1 minute to showtime.
The engines are on.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
When they wrote up the systems and the rule set that we use, did working people get to write a line? What class of men on pen and paper jotted down their clues? With capital, the heart of their design. When 90 million want a thing, but some shareholders say no. Which class of people get to have their way? The people read the fine print, say that this thing has got to go, and we'll start writing a new contract here today. Don't you know that hundreds will work and one man keeps the money? They don't think they gotta tell us why. When they say the new social contract, all the bosses will be gobsmacked and everyone will want a sign. Oh, yeah, everyone will want a sign.
All right. Hello, cousins. Okay. Thank you for joining us for a all new episode of What in Fresh Hell with Nicolette and Jared. Well, as you can see, we have our own Mr. Mayor, Jared, back.
Hello. I am
Yay!
back.
So
I am happy to
excited.
be back.
Yeah.
I'm feeling more rested than I usually do after these trips because maybe it's because I slept from like 9 to 8. I was in bed nice and early. It's the only negative about the trip was like, so I was in Germany recently, and so all my travel is by train. Hooray! Not even because it's like even in some cases I probably could have gotten some of these flights for maybe even cheaper, but then you have to deal with baggage. And the best thing about a train is you just kind of get on with your shit. Like nobody really messes with you. You just find a spot and stick it in there. But the cheap trains are in the morning, so every time I traveled, it was like, all right, and your train comes at 7:20 a.m., 8:30 blah blah. I got one down to like 9 a.m., but still means I'm getting up and I'm not gonna not party. I'm not gonna not drink my goofy number of German beers. The last night I was there, I ended up I stayed in a hotel by the airport, and some cities the airport is like in the city, and there's connections right to it all the place. Other like if you go to Pittsburgh, my home city, the Pittsburgh airport is way outside of town. It's like a 25-minute drive with light traffic. It can get messed up if there's heavy traffic, and of course there's no like train or tram or anything. But yeah, complaints aside. So if you stay at an airport hotel in Pittsburgh, you're not really in Pittsburgh. And if you want to, I'll just walk around and go get some. There might be like a Walmart or an IKEA, and I think the IKEA is out there. But I was in that situation in Germany near Berlin, the Berlin airport, the new one. So I ended up the nearest place I could find like a restaurant, because I'm like, oh, I'll have my last night out. Happened to be a Mexican restaurant. Also, it's Sunday, and in Germany, shit is closed on Sunday to a severe degree. I was talking to my parents. Apparently, in the U.S. in like the 70s, it was like that too. Like the gas station would just be closed on Sunday, which is crazy to my mind. Heck, it still freaks me out that our Walmart stopped being 24 hours, but I digress. So we get to this Mexican restaurant. I take a Uber, which I never do because it costs too much money. And it was like $20 just one way, and it was I think like 2.5 miles, not horribly far. So on the way back, I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, do I pay another $20 or do I walk a full hour back home? And that's what I was gonna do. I walked an hour home to avoid spending $20, and the route it took me through was like the equivalent of like a state park. I was in the pitch black. It looked like I was in it looked like Indiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, woods, and then fields. I'm like, oh look, that was a cornfield. I'm sure they've already harvested this year. Like woods. Then I'm on a road that's clearly like for the tractors for between the two fields. Like this is amazing.
A logging road.
I mean, this is like the setting where in fairy tales you get attacked by wolves and witches, but I'm having a fantastic time.
And you're in Germany where they were invented.
Yeah. Invented witches.
They did
But
invent
yes.
witches, it's true.
I had an amazing trip. I'm very happy to be back. It was great
Yes.
to because when you leave the U.S., you talk to people and they all kind of sound like us. Like they, especially with American, when it comes to politics, you'll discuss a lot of international issues, American issues for sure, and suddenly you don't feel like a crazy person like you sometimes do here when you're trying to talk to even the U.S. quote left. We'll talk about Mamdani here in a minute, but you feel like a normal person. I got to talk to somebody from Lebanon for in person for the first time in my life, a true Lebanese who lives in Lebanon, who writes in Lebanon, blah blah blah. And I started with like, hey man, sorry about my government. We're doing our best over here to to deal with it, but
Nobody listens to the people who make sense.
yeah, it was amazing being able to just say some facts and have him not be like, yeah, but he's like, yes, correct, like, yes, that is
Yeah,
accurate. It's nice to
right.
meet an American who understands the situation. And I'm like, there are dozens of us, dozens.
Dozens. It's exactly the fucking truth at this point. So yeah. So
I'm
yes,
talking. I'm like, man, it's a weird time when like I think Iran is making a good move because we were talking about like remember the week when Iran was actually being offensive against, uh, the terrorist of the region, Israel. That was a fun like day and a half. Though,
right.
man, these are all accidentally topical. We're gonna be talking about another maybe war.
Hmm.
Like Iran. Are we at war with Iran? We bombed him for a little bit, and then he was like, "We're taking a big time out." Are we timed out?
Yeah.
North Korea. Are we bombing North Korea?
Yeah, what the yeah.
Aren't
Yeah, a
we?
lot of weird this has been a really, really solid week of weird bullshit going on and weird headlines about stuff that happened in the past that is just coming out now. Both being like Epstein stuff and North Korean stuff and pseudo military stuff. So yeah, we'll try to unpack about as much as we can get to in an hour. But yes, we're very glad to have our own Mr. Mayor back. I actually have something neat I would like to show you. And since I've had some luck in the past couple of episodes sharing my screen, I'm gonna try to do that. So I
Let's
have
do it.
something
Yeah.
to show you.
The technology will it flow through us
Well,
on this
the
evening?
technology. Will it technology? Let's find out. Let's acknowledge the technology. Okay, share. Woo! Okay, everybody. I just wanted to share this real quick. This is I just revealed the cover to my new book, so this is what it looks like. It's my name is kind of blocking my name in the frame I see, but you get it. So there it is. I just wanted to share it so everybody got the chance to see it. So because I'm trying to remember to talk about these things more, and that's what Jared was off doing. He was touring with music and making people happy with his music. So remember, you can get his music anywhere music is music. So yeah, this is my cover. This is what it looks like. I probably shouldn't say this, but that's my photograph of mine. When I made
Oh,
the
nice.
cover, it's one of my old photos. It's actually a picture. It's gonna take the piss out of it so bad because it's meant to be scary. It's a scary book, but that's a picture. In my bathroom that I took when we took the mirror out to spray for ants.
Oh, because that's what the whole. Yeah, it makes sense.
So the void you see that matches the back void, like the scariness is supposed to be like scary void, but it's like actually like no, just spray for ants. All right, so
It's
there
a
it
good
is,
edit,
everyone.
Nicolette, and you do good edits. And I also just like
Oh, thank
green,
you.
so that doesn't help.
Yeah. Well,
As you
yeah.
see
So
by my
like you,
walls
it kind
behind
of
me.
gives it away when you see that bathroom lamp, like, and then me telling you. But I
I
don't want
didn't.
like I don't want that to like
It
take the
doesn't
piss
strike to
out
me
of
as
it.
bathroom. I could see that just as easily being like in the entrance to a house, like you open the door, turn to the right, like hang your coats, like that. That does not scream bathroom lamp to
Okay.
me.
That's good. So that'll be on the cover. That's the front cover. There's some back cover art as well, but that's for another day. But I'll have some little events coming up about, I made a soundtrack out of some commercial music, which I usually do for my books. And we'll do a little listening party and stuff like that. So thank you for indulging me there for a second so I can share it because I'm really excited about this book. It's something I've been working on for 20 years. I have a habit of doing that, like just not consistently, like my writer's block. No, it's just like
You know?
you get it, you work on it, you put it away, you rewrite it, you put it away, stuff gets in the way, you put it away. So it took literally, I started it in 2005 and it's set in 1975 and 1985, and in 2005 it was much closer to those times, so we're pretty well removed 50 and 40 years now from those times. uh, but if you want to see what's inside the book of my bathroom mirrorless bathroom picture, it's a scurry story, and I'll talk more about that at another time. We've got enough to talk about in this episode, so I just wanted to take a minute to share it because I'm super excited. So yes, thank you for your compliment on my edit. I appreciate it. And I think we're about ready to rock here. I think the biggest thing here is that like something I talked about last week, which Jared wasn't here for, but I have been saying for a while, and this is just my feeling, is that for one reason or another, Trump is going to bail out on this term. I don't see him going another 3.25 years. Even more than that when you talk about going into the next January.
Do you think they're gonna do the same? I don't think they would do this, but it'd be funny. You think they do the same thing they did with Kamala, where he like drops out quick, and then they're just like, all right, no primary, we're just doing JD Vance or someone else.
If it goes that far, I think that he's very likely just to at some point be like, fuck this, I'm done. It's not fun anymore. I've raised my money is coming in right and fucking left. I'm like 3 billion in crypto at this point. Like, I just don't like, there's not a whole much more that he can scam off of this before he wakes up one day and he's, like, I could go play golf every day and take shits on gold toilets and I don't have to have this crap anymore in my life. So I feel like, he and there was this whole week, I think maybe you were, I don't know, you might not have been here, but for a whole week, people who were online were celebrating because they were just pretending he was dead. Like, everybody knew he was dead, but everybody online was just like, is he dead? So like that was their whole thing. And then the liberals were like, you should have just voted for Kamala Harris then. So that was their whole thing. So, but everybody just kind of had one of these manufactured moments of joy, just getting to kind of imagine him dying. Because he just it was like over Labor Day and he just kind of disappeared from social media, which is unusual for him. And that's
I
not
just
really
left the country too, so it was great just looking like, man, every time I leave something happens.
Yeah, right, it does. And
I think I was out of the country when Biden officially quote was dropped out.
Right. Yeah, you're like, it is. You always kind of signal, like, when you leave the country, something major happens. So that's kind of, there's been a lot of things that it just made me feel like he's just gonna one day wake up and be like, because he's doing this kind of like mortality moment where he's like, I want to get into heaven, and it's like, you've never heard this idiot say anything like that in his fucking life, right?
I think it's because he's dying, not just dying.
Well, I think he thinks he is. I think he thinks he is, and it's just like maybe he had like. It would not be out of the realm of possibility for them to hide a medical issue like all
like
of
Biden's cancer, his giant
cancer and the Alzheimer's and or dementia, whichever it have.
That's why I think he will finish the term, because once he's almost in like a Biden state now, where he does not look the same since he came back. He looks thinner. He's like 80 whatever, so like it's not shocking. It's not like, oh, this poor 50-year-old getting struck down in his prime. He's already is an old man, and as we've learned, especially with Biden, they love that. They had Biden not even signing half of his documents. They just had him they're just clicking autofill like when you have to do like when you have to do a DocuSign, you get a loan. They send you the thing in the email. That was Biden like signing in bills and executive orders and shit. We're gonna find out later that Trump, he had an auto. I like the phrase auto pen. They brought that out like it's this new like it's a pen that like jumps up and starts writing on its own. It's like no. It's just when you click fill all on the form when you're
like
when you're doing
it's
your
like
insurance.
Cookies on your browser. So like like that is an excellent point. It's just that I feel like I don't know if he has the agency to be like fuck this and leave, then I see him leaving. But I also can see what you say is just getting it weekend at Bernie's.
He's a great puppet because he doesn't. That's why all of our Congress people are 90 because they already blackmailed them once. They don't have to get a new set, and they're gonna run them for every cent they can.
Yes, and that's exactly why things are the way they are and have reached like a new level of corruption. Shout out to the chat. Hey to Are You Time Traveler 2, one of our regular viewers. Glad to have you with us. So that's the. That's kind of where we are at this point. Is will he, won't he? And then you have the entire internet rooting for his death. And I'm not gonna be mad about that. Like, it's fun. So like, and you also have JD Vance going out and interviewing like Supreme Leader is so healthy, you guys. But if he wasn't, totally ready, yo. Like that's exactly how that fucking interview went. So we have that like he has his eyes on the prize for sure. So it's like literally every day waking up wondering if Trump also woke up in his case. So that's where we are. And we kind of one thing I've said about this is a lot is that like the Epstein stuff is not going away. And you have all of these old Congress people on, both sides, quote unquote. You have the leaders of things, the Speaker of the House, which we'll get into here in a minute with the bullshit he tried to do. And you got Trump, and all of these people are old and they don't understand. It's not that they can't understand internet, but they don't understand why they can't Raycon their way out of things anymore. Like they can't just say like, nah, And then like that's it. Like, and then the people are like, he said nah. He said nah. Okay, he said it. It's
He
true. He
clearly
wouldn't say it if it
said.
wasn't true. So like that's basically where we have gotten to at this point. They can't understand how to get ahead of it because what happened was the biggest headline of the week. Well, debatably, is that every week something else adds to this Epstein story, right? It's not going away. And eventually he might get sick of that or really realize he is entrapped and needs to leave the country. I don't know if it'll get that dramatically to that level. But Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, randomly, just for no real reason, said, actually, Trump was on Epstein Island and Trump was his friend because he was a secret FBI informant, yo. Like, that's totally what's going on here. Like, so when you're talking about him being, like, doing crimes, he was doing crimes for the government to uncover the bigger crimes. So you should be thanking him. Like, 2 minutes later, he was like, I shouldn't have said that. It was a mistake for me to have said those things, and I didn't mean it, and I'm going to kill myself. Goodbye. So that's essentially how the last few days have gone. And
Remember when they were running him out of office? They all hated Speaker Johnson, and now he's
everybody
just fine,
hates
I guess.
this guy.
Yeah, but I'm
on
saying
both sides.
Trump, and then we're like, we're gonna get him out of it, and now whatever. He's just the speaker now. Let's give him a few more years, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't understand how Trump didn't immediately be like, yeah, that I am an FBI agent, and then like run with it. But somehow they managed to make him keep his mouth shut. I don't know how. He can't ever keep his mouth shut about anything. But
I thought Johnson was one of the drain the swamp guys. Wasn't he part of the swamp that was supposed to get drained? Or am I wrong?
Right?
Was he the Trump guy?
Well, he's the guy that talks about God talking to him. I'll tell you that. Like that's another one of his, greatest hits. So
talk about Pete Hegseth next. Holy shit, he's like literally a Templar Knight thinking guy. Pete
Right?
Hegseth. He has a big tattoo of the Templar Knight cross. And if you get into commie circles, one of the biggest arguments about because people who get like half red pilled or whatever, that's who get stuck at the like it's the Jews part because they find out about a little bit about international banking and then go, oh, international banking, that means Jews. And it's like, no, international banking started with the fucking Pope. That's what the Crusades were. Literal, and it's not even like some like ideological blah, blah. It's just factually, historically, that's what happened. If you follow the Knights Templar idea, that's international bankers. You can draw a direct line. So the fact that Pete Hegseth has a fucking Templar shit on him, and it's like, this really never went away.
Right, yeah.
From the year 1000 to now, guess who, the guy who you think is going to go destroy the international bankers is working directly on, all right, This is funny though. We got Speaker Johnson, hey, maybe he's an informant, next day, never mind actually.
Never mind, actually. Yeah. I had a stroke on air and I said some crazy shit, actually.
You can't have a stroke yet, Johnson. You're like the youngest guy in office.
Right? Yeah.
Mike Johnson on Monday attempted to clear up earlier remarks he made, claiming that President Donald Trump had been an FBI informant in the Jeffrey Epstein case. I like how it's like referred to as a case and not like crime ring.
Right.
What I was referring to in that long conversation, it was a long conversation. He didn't know what he was. He said a lot of things. Is what the Epstein victim's attorney said. Wait, what? The Epstein victim's attorney said that he was an FBI informant? That's what we're saying, Johnson? More than a decade ago, President Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, all right? And he was one of the only prominent people, one of the best people, as everyone had reported, that was willing to help law enforcement to go after this guy who was a disgusting child abuser, sex trafficker, all the allegations. Don't forget money launderer. Notice they will never talk about the money laundering.
Major money laundering going on.
That's what they heard, and so the president was helpful in that. So I guess
one man bank, basically.
Why is his bank account still doing multi-billion-dollar transactions? That's why the fact that Ghislaine is still alive and doing stuff, I'm like, I bet she's just kind of, she's the one now. Or it doesn't even need to be her specifically. It's just her accounts in her name, stuff she's. Sure. It's automated, everybody. The system keeps on rolling, even if the guy literally doesn't kill himself in prison. The system keeps on fucking cranking. The speaker added, I don't know if I used the right terminology, but that's common knowledge, and everybody knows that? What? So this is much ado about nothing. You guys are making this a big deal.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Look, I'm just saying that Donald Trump was a secret Mission Impossible child fucker, and he was actually doing it for good. It was for the powers of. He was a white hat rapist.
Right? Wow. Wow. Like, this is like the
Very
dumbest
silly.
shit you could say, because the internet immediately reacted exactly like you'd think it would. Again, why can't they Raycon their way out of shit? Because the internet was like, so you're saying he was there? And then Mike Johnson was like, no!
Well,
That's
not
not what
really-
he said! You put
Yeah.
words in my mouth.
what I mean was he was willing to talk to the police. I guess so I didn't like him in Mar-a-Lago. I read that whole thing. I'm still not totally sure what the what do you call spin was supposed to be on that thing.
Well, also, don't forget, it is entirely possible for an informant to have also been doing the crimes.
Usually that's how it works. Like once you're in the crime ring, they then get a hold of one of them and say,
Somebody
"No,
who's willing to
you can-
talk.
yeah,
And
you
then
can
they will
take
make a deal that says we're not gonna press charges against you or oust your involvement or anything.
We're gonna need
like
you to
that.
do one more job, Trump."
Yeah, well, but it also kind of poses the question of, like, Speaker of the House is basically nothing, right? Like a placeholder. Like, they don't really do anything. They're not privy to anything necessarily. They're not in the top echelon. They
Well,
kind of
it's
just
that they
exist.
get to set what you vote on, but and then again, it's like they. I don't know if Johnson he. All these people are
runs
just
in and is like,
executing the
"Vote
orders.
51,"
They
know,
are
like
told to do a thing and they do it, but he is
Yeah.
the guy who nominally sets the schedule for what you actually get to vote on. So if the speaker, a way to just get a thing never passed is never fucking vote on it.
Right,
like
but
like
that's-
healthcare.
yeah,
Hey,
the question is like, okay, if he's the one that comes out and says something like this, he would not necessarily, or pretty much in any real realm, be privy to this information,
why did he know?
or have the clearance to say so to the public. So either he dreamed this up and it just came out of his mouth, or there's some sort of batshit things going on behind. I heard there was another fist fight recently. I didn't
I
investigate.
hope, man. I hope every day they're slapping each other.
Yeah, there was somebody who was
Let me
like,
see
"I am
that.
going to punch you in your face," and it was some sort
Yeah.
of dust up between.
I thought that
some
was
people.
Hegseth. Oh, yeah, never. But yes, I saw the
Maybe.
same
His
thing. Of
drunk
like,
ass.
all these
You
dudes
know,
just like, I'm a big man. We're gonna get in a bar fight. It's like this is fucking Washington, man. Chill out.
there was, like years after the W administration, there was a movie that came out about it. I didn't bother to watch it, but and then like they try to tell you how bullshit it was, and then there was years after the Clinton administration, there was a movie that came out about that. Didn't bother to watch it, but the point is like there will be something. There's going to be a Ken Burns multi-part documentary coming out where it's like, all these Ken Burns of the future, where they're all talking about like how fucked it really was, because we know and we could guess, and nobody would be surprised that there's literal fist fights, and you've got Elon Musk showing up with black eyes, and you've got like these Democrats dying in office and nobody pushing back on anything anybody's doing. And it's like, and that's another thing I talked about last week, to catch you up, Jared, that I think that the Democrats are doing. It's a planned obsolescence. And then they're coalescing behind the Mamdani thing to be like, oh, this a hero will rise, playing into the whole Marvel brain of people at this point. And they're like, what are we gonna do? We don't know. So I think this is all part of the plan at this point. But right now, this is like the newest chapter in the Epstein saga. Plus, we had the lawyers release this stupid letter that we've been talking about for months about like a lady in a signature for her pubes, and like, big deal. It's really not. And he's like, that's not mine. I didn't did that. Yeah, you did. And he's like, to our secrets, it's like, we know what you're child fucking, dude. We know your fucking secrets, like, so.
So, like, as you mentioned it, I do want to. We can do it's another one of those quote stories where there's not much. It's all just speculation and having fun. But why not speculate and have a little fun?
Sure.
Mamdani over here, like this is the photo and the stuff where people who.
If this doesn't make your blood boil, like you need to check your priorities.
Well, it really is just like it's the now popular meme, the "fell for it again" award, which is consistently being memed about right-wing people because they're looking at Trump doing exactly the opposite of what he said he would do. And you know me, I kind of always assumed that's what would happen, but the hope is that his base, MAGA, people who are actually MAGA, meaning they want to make America great in the literal sense, not the, I don't like Mexicans. I mean, like, I want Americans to have jobs and, like, child care and shit, regardless of their color. actual MAGA people should be getting extraordinarily. They should. The real ones are ones who now just have abandoned him already. I can totally talk to those people. It's like, yes, I understand, my brother. Come, let us read a very
Right.
long book by a German philosopher in the 1800s, and we will become communists together.
Yes.
That is the true only way to make America great again. Is if we begin building socialism with American characteristics, but in that same way that Fell for It Again award, it is currently happening again with the United States left, with the Democratic Party, and with their continual throwing it. It's just, they're trying to do just the same. It's what you should really start called the Bernie playbook, which is where you
Yes.
throw out a guy who says some pretty nice things, who at the end of the day, the actual goal is not to push anyone left or change policy or blah, blah, blah. Like, where the hell did Medicare for All, where did that end up? In a freaking landfill along with the rest of these words that mean nothing.
Yep.
In an attempt to make sure you sheepdog people back into the Democratic Party. It's like, oh, you think the Democratic Party kind of sucks? Well, this guy also thinks he kind of sucks. By the way, vote blue no matter who. Every 4 years, that's the only message that we have. So really, all of this is pointless. Just join the DNC. Like, why did Bernie not run as an independent? Isn't he an independent? Why, when he was kicked out of the primary under completely bullshit reasons, did he not then run as an independent and make Hillary Clinton lose, even though she already fucking lost anyway? So, like, what was the
Right.
point of not doing it?
It
Where
could
are
have been
your
a double
testicles,
lose.
Bernie? Where are your fucking balls, man? Oh yeah, they have dirt on his wife because his wife is currently in an ongoing forever legal case about some scam she did. And every time Bernie gets out of line, that shit comes back up. And as long as he's a good boy, his wife doesn't have to go to jail, and he's old and just wants to fucking die and go on with his life. And, like, that's what we are, man. It's not aliens, it's not lizard people, it's not crazy conspiracy. It's just fucking what reality is. And AOCIA over here is just getting teed up to be the new freaking what's her name, Nancy Pelosi. All her progressive shit went out the window. She forced the vote, was seen as a fucking right-wing white supremacist thing as soon as she actually was in power to try and force a vote. Anyway, Mamdani is the new Bernie. If you guys want to do a Fell for It Again award, it's happening right now. Mamdani has already backpedaled on his Free Palestine shit. He's already backpedaled on basically anything where he was, quote, a progressive, and he hasn't even, like, won the election yet. Like, once he's in office, you expect him to start backpedaling. He's backpedaling now, and this is to be mayor. Why? Because he knows that if he plays his fucking cards right, he can be the next senator from blah, 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 and then he can be on the next fucking Epstein, well, whoever the new guy is, the Epstein space shuttle that we all find out about in 20 more years when they have
groomed
crazy...
for this position. That's where we are.
This is the group. We're watching it. We're watching it in real time. It was first that article, which was like, Mamdani is a progressive, blah, 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 from New York. Then Obama called him, and I don't know why the New York Times, like, phrased their headline like that, but I took it as threatening, like, oh, shit, they already got to him. Even if he wasn't full of shit before, he's getting the call, which is right now, hello, it's like the Liam Neeson, like, there are two ways this can go.
Right? Yeah.
You can get down with our bullshit, or we're either going to chase you out of office, or worst case, you're going to die.
We're going to kill you and your family. So, like,
or we'll socially kill you. Suddenly, they'll find child porn on his hard drive or something. Like, something will happen that his life will be ruined, or he'll at least be pushed out of politics. He can go quietly, and if he doesn't go quietly, they'll ruin his life or end his life. So anyway, yeah, Mamdani, it was fun while it lasted. Here is your Fell for It Again award, American Left. Enjoy.
But it's at the same time, we're not saying this in an antagonistic way. You don't have a choice, but if you're trying to do something good, the
only choice is to not fucking participate.
Yeah, that is your choice. That's where we are. That's our whole deal. Is I've said it a million times. The only way to stop it is to nullify it. Like, Americans will bend and bend and bend and bend and bend. And then when you think they've hit the breaking point and it can't get worse, as in AI starts making your healthcare decisions and they get the money if they shut you down, breaking point, Americans will bend some more. We have no bite, no fight, no way to fight anybody, and no willingness to do it. A whole
as long as you keep
gigantic country of people with that mentality, right?
Because we have been trained like freaking dogs that the only way you're allowed to try and fight anything is once every however many years. Yeah, is through a vote. Guys, we had riots for a whole year and didn't change shit. Voting is gonna...
It did. It got cop cities in every fucking city. That's what we got. So
you got reaction. You had a bourgeois class reaction. That's it.
People's direct reaction, direct action led to more fucking policing, led to more authority in the fucking National Guard in goddamn cities now. Now, all these fucking liberals, which I've been bitching about the whole time, because of course we are open-minded and we don't want to shut people down, but we find that when you look at MAGA and you look at the hardcore Republicans, they're a very small group of people compared to people who are really actual liberals, because that is a huge umbrella of people, because that's basically right-leaning people or whoever would consider themselves to be a centrist, or the people calling themselves socialists because they think it's cool, but they all basically are right-wing people. And
It's if
they
you
are
believe in the excuse, if you believe in like the sanctity of the system, or that our system has any, if you believe that your vote matters, guess what? You're a liberal, and like all of these thoughts are gonna fall from it, because otherwise you have to accept like, oh, is our government a shadow, like run by a fucking, not even shadow organization, run by just like the interests of these companies? Do we have the fully automated government that I propose, where the reason we have our elected leaders is because they're the people they were able to get fucking child rape dirt on, and that's like, you can't just accept that in your head. You'll go and fucking you'll become us. You just so you take the easier option, which is no. They're doing the best they can. They just
you don't
a
understand
list
how
of
politics
excuses.
works. It's
Yeah.
incremental. You get all that spiel.
Yeah, you grow up. You got to be a big boy and play at the
You
adult
can't
table.
you can't vote one topic. You gotta think of the big picture. All these stupid nonsense, non sequiturs that they will throw at
You
you.
got to always lose forever. Just lose
Forever. Exactly. And so yes, people have been indoctrinated, and we're not saying life isn't hard, and we're not trying to say don't talk to people outside of your political spectrum. We do want to talk to people outside of our political
I'm
spectrum.
saying don't talk about politics. Talk to them about the price of shit, because that's not really politics.
If you have felt like you have been left out or disenfranchised, welcome. We're here for you. That's how we got here. We are very open about the fact that we were shit libs before we got here. So that's what's going on. And you can be that too. You can. We're not also saying that it's free or fun to know things, but like, you are responsible to have to know things and to get real about shit. And the only
or at
way
the very
to stop.
least, at the very least, like, carry one thought from one thing to another.
Yes.
We have we have Trump, who is blowing up shit in Venezuela. We have U.S. attacks Venezuelan drug carrying boat, and we're talking about how amazing and great that is. And then we have this. Oh, frick! Did I get rid of it? There it is. We have this guy. Everybody remember President Duerte in the Philippines? The Duerte in the Philippines. That's the thing. At the time, I'm like, oh, this guy is fucking crazy. And then the more we're going on, I'm like, oh no, this might be another U.S. imperialism talking shit because he wouldn't play ball. Like, Duerte famously would not. He just wasn't down with General West bullshit. My favorite example is Canada had a recycling scheme with the Philippines, where the Philippines was supposed to accept big barges of recycling from them, and what they actually received was just literal garbage, like food waste, diapers, like not recycling, not glass bottles and metal and plastic and shit like that. So what did Duerte do? He refused to take the shipments and sent that shit back to Canada, and Canada was like, this is an act of war, and he's like, fucking, this is an act of war. And I'm like, that's kind of based. I'm not saying everything he did was a good idea, but it's like, he's one of the guys, he's treated as a supervillain because he was kind of against a lot of the West shit. Unlike, Saudi Arabia, favorite example, they have horrible human rights records, but they're all of our friends. And why is Duerte in The Hague? Well, you see, Duerte did a big war on drugs where he was just straight up executing, well, he said he's executing drug dealers, and then it's arguable as to, like, were they actually drug dealers or were they just his political opponents and he was being a Hitler? I don't know. Not really me to say. Gotta freaking do an investigation.
Like, there's no way we can actually know, but I think we can wager a guess.
But isn't it fun that Trump blows up? Because remember, guys, dealing drugs does not necessarily carry an automatic death sentence by drone strike, does it? You're supposed to, like, have a trial.
And they came out acting like, look at us big heroes. Like, even less of
at
a
the
normal
same
distraction.
time.
They were like, you guys are gonna fucking love this. And everybody's like, you blew up civilians who didn't even know what their deal was in the middle of international waters. You want everybody, and they're like, recon!
Duerte is accused of killing 7 drug dealers. Trump claims to have killed 11. One of them is sitting in The Hague. Like, Duerte has been arrested. He is in prison, mostly for that. And then our president just openly says, yo, we showed up in Venezuela and narked a bunch of bitches. Give me my peace, remember, Nobel Peace Prize.
Right? Yeah, he's forever after this stupid thing. It means nothing, and he just wants it because Obama got
Which
one.
is it, liberals, and I mean red and blue liberals, is it good or bad to blow up a boat full of
Yeah,
civilians?
right. Can you guys, can you let us know? Because I think that you might disagree with what we think.
Oh my fuck, I just saw the no smoking on this boat. I don't know why that strikes me as funny. Hi, we're here to blow you up. No smoking.
No smoking,
No
though?
smoking, please.
Yeah. Please respect your fellow man here, okay? We're civilized, all right?
Well, we have, this is PolitiFact. Fun, I don't think we've read from them in a while. A U.S. military attack against what officials called a drug-carrying boat from Venezuela is raising questions about the strike's legality. I can answer those questions. It was illegal.
Yeah.
On September 2nd, President Donald Trump announced that the U.S. military had struck the vessel in the southern Caribbean, killing 11 people on board. Moments later, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on X that the boat had come from Venezuela and was being operated by a designated narco-terrorist organization.
To which
later-
they have Maduro and Venezuela have said we had nothing to do with it. Just,
I know, right? The idea that every time anyone does a crime from Venezuela, it's that the president directly ordered it. Like, every time America does a crime, Trump directly... All right. Trump later posted on Truth Social what he said was video footage of the strike. Oh yeah, people are now debating whether or not that footage is entirely just AI generated or totally fake or edited.
Yeah.
Because the boat doesn't look big enough to hold 11 people. It's really,
no, it's just like
a
this
fishing
tiny little
boat.
cigarette boat. Give
like
me
a
a fucking
little-
break.
I don't know if they're gonna freaking have the photo in here, but it's just a little boat. It's like you'd go out fishing with maybe 5 people, and that'd be kind of full. Let alone
and it's
where
like
were they
you
fitting the
have
drugs?
You now have the technological ability at the highest level to make something completely believably and
It's
realistic.
black and white. It's really grainy footage, of course, so it makes the whole thing easier.
Yeah, God, it's just we live in the stupidest of times. This should just show you that, if nothing else.
Venezuela is claiming Venezuela counter-argued that the footage was made with AI, and I'm like, you know what? I super believe it. If Venezuela's official statements say AI,
Yeah, this shit is fake. So
they allege that Tren de Agua is under control of the Venezuelan president. What I've heard is the theory as to why we have specific shit with Venezuela, because if you look at our drug trade, it's like Ecuador and Colombia send the most of it. I mean, first of all, if we have drug problems, I don't understand how the solution is to like blow up the people make. Remember when we had opioids and the doctors were just prescribing them like crazy because of our extremely corrupt medical care system was essentially telling doctors, don't worry, man, it's great. This stuff's awesome. Here's some money. This stuff's amazing. You should totally give it to everyone. Oxycontin should be in every one of your patients' mouths.
Put it in the water.
What was America doing then? Were we blowing up the drug man? No. We were literally guarding poppy fields with machine guns in Afghanistan, like officially. So maybe the way to stop the drug problem is not by going to war with foreign nations, but, to fix society to a degree where people don't feel like they got to be shooting up all the time.
Yeah. Maybe there's a root problem here. And, that's where we get back all of this back into our, we don't like it down the line. It doesn't matter about political ideology or tribalism. Everything is wrong, whether it's just in your own little life or the bigger picture. So the only real way to, to fix this problem is not voting your way out of it. I know you've heard that. It is nullifying the system and building an outside system that works in favor of people and changing.
Trump ran on peace. His constituents need to be extremely pissed that he has now started like about 4 wars ish.
Yeah.
And so why are they going after Venezuela for this, even though Ecuador, Colombia, other nations in the region are more of a source?
On that one.
Well, it's I've heard that I find this very believable. It's that most of the drug cartels they do their money laundering through the U.S. They do it with U.S. treasuries, so they end up paying like interest and shit because their stuff is in American, usually banks and blah blah blah. Where the trend apparently, I don't know if it's Tren de Agua. That's the one they're using as like a meme, so I don't even know if that's the one. Where the Venezuelan cartels are apparently using Bitcoin. And that's the thing that pisses off the U.S. government, is that they aren't essentially paying the fee to be international drug dealers. Because if you read, it's not conspiracy shit. This is on the record. The CIA in the 70s has admitted, because they can't get funding directly from the government, that to fund themselves, they just ran coke through the whole 70s. And then then we stopped, though, and we definitely don't do that anymore. Like, I now no longer even try to... They definitely put crack into the black communities. That was definitely some CIA shit.
That was the next upgrade.
100%.
100%. No, it's fact. It's not theory. It's not conspiracy.
Yeah, I used to put an asterisk next to that. No, fully believe it at this point.
No, it's been confirmed by the people who were there and they were doing it. It is actual literal fact at this point.
So what do they do? What is it now? Now it's almost certainly just, it's fentanyl now. And then in another 30 years, they'll admit to that. And they're like, but we stopped.
Right. and now that the fentanyl and the opioid crisis is kind of on the wane, It's
Yeah,
kind of
people
like,
are just going back to meth. Like that's genuinely a stat in
yes, but they
Arizona.
have to make that money somewhere else. So the next big thing is going to come out of all of this somewhere.
A
The
new
next
fun
big,
drug. Get
yeah, the
the
next big
Judge Dredd
drug
drugs.
related thing. And it will be drug related because it's always drug related. Because what was the difference between pushing cocaine in the 70s and introducing crack in the middle 80s? Because crack is at like 1,000% more addictive.
It's
It
that
was developed
cocaine
and
is
figured
not
out by
nearly as
scientists. This was figured out in a lab. This wasn't somebody like necessarily on the street figuring this out. This was figured out in a sanctioned lab, by the government, who figured this out. It's like, yeah, we have cocaine and we feed it to the rabbits and they're like, whoa, cocaine. And then we have this crack
Give 'em
substance and
crack.
we feed it to the rabbits and they fucking cannot get enough of it and they will
And
literally
crack
like
is
beat
it's
themselves to death
cheaper.
to get it.
It's also cheaper because it cuts the
Cheaper.
cocaine. You get
Yes,
you get
yes,
more
exactly
of it.
right.
For
So, you have all of this, all of this whole big story of what will happen. And they're like, now let's give it to the most vulnerable people and say it's cheap as hell.
because
So
they
that's
had
when
the
they roll
fucking
that
Black
out.
Panther at the time. They had the Black Panthers going, who were actually building dual power. They weren't going on the street saying vote Kamala Harris to solve all your fucking problems. If the Panthers were the actual Panther, there is kind of a like phony Black Panther party that still exists today in name only, kind of like how MAGA exists in name only. They don't actually give a shit about making America great. The Panthers back
They're
in the
just
day were
libertarians.
building dual power rather. They're the reason that we have a school lunch program because the government got so embarrassed that the Black Panthers in a lot of urban centers were straight up they were providing school lunch basically because you'd show up and they'd give you a pamphlet, be like, here comrade, you don't have to join us, but and that's how you
If you
fucking
want
get people to like you. That's how you get friends. And they were
It is.
militant. They had fucking rifles. They ran marches. They would just stand and watch the cops arrest people just holding guns, which is legal. That's what they did in California, and you're sitting there like, good, this is nice. I totally.
Oh
the-
man, you know what? Just this last couple of weekends in Indianapolis, they had a couple of weekends ago, a bunch of feds put on Nazi gear and covered their faces and did this march
the
through the
damn-
city, and everybody was like, "Oh no, no, we're not, no, no," okay, made this huge deal about it. So a couple weekends later,
Patriot Front. Is
I
that
don't
the
know
one?
what they were just walking down the street or whatever. People filmed them, and it's like they're clearly feds, so you know who they are. So okay, a couple weekends later, like then they had this counter protest where it's just a bunch of liberals come out with signs, but with the liberals there was this group of guys who were literally armed to the fucking teeth, who came out and was. I'm not kidding. I don't know who they were, but they spoke to them on the news and they're like, we're not putting up with this shit. And that was basically like I'm like, who are you guys? A hero will rise, right? Like they had like gun stocks that were like, like Tommy guns. Like it was the most insane shit. I don't know who they were or what they were doing or why they were there, but they were there in support of the anti-Nazi liberal brunch situation. So it was like, what is this? So that's something that did just happen recently in this city. So I don't shit's fucking out of control. Like I don't know like who is who at this point or what anybody even wants. Because we have federal Nazis like, parading through the streets and then like a super militia shows up and is like, no. What?
It's the in Italy it was called the Days of Lead, where it's the general goal seems to be to make people more scared, and not just scared, but specifically scared of participating in political life at all.
Right.
You're not going to go out and try to form some dual power, blah blah blah, and join whatever party if you think that doing so might get you shot up for no reason because you're standing around downtown. It just makes people like, all right, let's just effing stay home. And I mean, that's what I say anyway, because going to street protests at this point is just an excuse for hey, cops, come punch me and put me on a list and get my face on every database. Because unfortunately,
they don't have to
it
put
doesn't work.
their face because these people that are doing it are Instagram liberals and they're just posting it for their own pictures.
yes,
like all they got to do is go scroll fucking Instagram, like type in Indianapolis and scroll Instagram. Like they don't have to even
Protests
do the
are for
work
the
anymore. You're doing it for them.
It's to make you feel like you're doing something, just like voting. It's to make you feel
Patting
like, well,
yourself on the back,
yeah.
right? And that's the whole thing. We sound hostile, and we are because we're hostile against the ideology. We're not
The
necessarily
system. I don't wanna
hostile about suffering people. We know you're all suffering, but you have to. The first step is admitting that you win no prize.
Don't want you to waste your
suffering.
time. I want you to save your time and energy for something that effing works. Otherwise, go take care of your kids. It's a better use of your time.
Right, it is. And that's exactly right. Like we know, like you cannot convince us that your life is fucking great. And if it is, get the fuck out of this conversation. You're not part of it.
We're not. I don't even want to get into it, but the whole the conversation about crime is starting to feel like people saying, "Don't worry, the economy's fine. Just stop complaining." It's like, Is it though?
Is it?
I
Yeah,
think crime is
exactly.
going up because fuckers are broke. When brokenness goes up, crime goes up. It's not because people are evil. It's because they're desperate.
Yes. And
Like the
that's
dude with
actually another thing
14
that's happening
mugshots.
in Indianapolis right now. They're on this huge kick on the news, and they're putting it out all over the news. Like there is this big problem between teen violence, gun violence, and drugs and Instagram. Like that's
Oh,
like they're doing this huge thing. And I'm like, they're
they're
saying
playing
like,
video games.
right. That's exactly my point. I was talking about it just this morning. Like they are off. They realized the video game argument doesn't work anymore, right? So they went to like, oh, it's social media. All of these teens are it's social media. They're doing all these horrible things because they've been trying to set a curfew in the city for kids. Which like, okay, fine, that's not really a big deal. Like kids should have a curfew. It's fine, like. But at the same time, because that's not really hurting anything, like it's fine. But at the same time, they're also trying to do this big manufactured consent campaign of like, oh well, if the kids are committing crimes, then they have to go into the system and maybe they will come out. But they're literally trying to manufacture consent to put kids into the system and make money off of them, and so that they can win people over using the news saying there's a problem, because like, okay, like literally millions of kids are using social media and Instagram in particular all over the country, all over the world. And are you seeing roving gangs of children everywhere? Like, I don't fucking think that you are. So like they're literally right now in trying to get their numbers up and get these kids back into the system, the school to prison pipeline. But they're trying to get people in on it because they realize they can't argue the video games are making them violent anymore. So now they're saying it's social media beefs that are doing it. And then that's the whole thing. They had this one big story where it's like this kid went to his father and he'd been shot, and his dad said, "Who shot you?" And all he said was, "Instagram." I'm not kidding.
Xbox killed my son.
Right? Okay, Tupac. Like, shut the fuck up, right?
Man.
That
All
is
right.
literally happening right now. And I know it's happening in your city too. Everybody's fucking city. Like, that is happening everywhere.
Like
And they make
I
it sound
definitely
like
don't
some
want to.
big thing.
I'm not one to harp on crime statistics because there's at the same time there's the whole like the pushing of talking about crime statistics because really they're just trying to say there's black people around and we're scared of them and not trying to go that way. But at
Black
the same
people
time,
make me
yeah,
nervous.
exactly. But we're having where now we have so all right. Most people don't like the cops now, right? Just in general, it's just general negative, like cops are. So the whole, I think it's not coincidental because now we have like reports of this because people have gotten in trouble for it. The police are cooking the books to make crime statistics look like they're going down because
Right.
one, it lets you look like, oh, look at us, we're doing the shit out of our job over here, like crime's going down. We're the police, we are helpful. You should send us another $250.
Yeah.
So
Let's
like,
get the military
yeah.
involved.
And at the same time, that then allows people to go, "Oh, you're just exaggerating about crime. Look at the stats. The crime is going down." It's like, yeah, guys, but is it really though? I don't remember which city specifically, if it was DC, Chicago, or what, but the cops were exposed as like, look, they keep taking, or it was a guy shot a guy, and then they what actually ends up on the books is like, oh, they had like a little bar scuffle. So
Yeah, right?
because it makes you look good as the police if you're like, look at all of we're around, you gave us another $250 and crime, haha, we have solved the problem. So when people that creates this weird like Ouroboros feeds into itself positive feedback loop for the system, where now if anyone who's just normal out there just living in the city goes, this shit's fucked, this feels unsafe, I've like my friend got robbed, blah, blah, blah. This fucking shit libs get to be like, you're just look at the statistics that the government provided us with. According to the government, crime is going
Right.
down, so you're just complaining for no reason. That's just how you have to put up with if you live in a city. You just have to deal with getting threatened by knives every 5 seconds.
And then you get these idiot polls that come out where it's like 20% of Democrats say like cities are fine, it's cool, or a huge problem or whatever, something like that. But then it's like 9,000 fucking million Republicans in Iowa say that the crime in Chicago makes them nervous, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, this shit is just fucking bonkers.
It all
at this point.
conveniently fits into culture war where I'm over here like, guys, if you're trying to actually talk to regular working class people in the city, they aren't super just like they weren't compelled by just telling them, you shut up, you're stupid, the economy is fine and you're
Right.
just too dumb
And there's
to
no
notice.
connection.
It's like, look, man, it's not that obviously, quote, tough on crime bullshit doesn't work, like we were just talking about. Just like
Yeah.
blowing up a Venezuelan ship doesn't actually stop the drug problem. In the same way that, I don't know, gunning down a bunch of random like youths in an urban situation doesn't solve the crime problem. You have to like
Right.
improve society and actually offer people things. But you are not going to win on a campaign where you tell people, shut up, you're imagining the crime. I'm not imagining the people sleeping on the streets around my house, and I certainly don't blame them. I blame
The system.
society. We have to fix things. You can't you can't just like shuffle people from block to block over and over and hope
That's
that
another
homeless
thing
goes
that's
away.
happening in Indianapolis in a big way. That's a huge, huge deal. And they're like, we're trying to find housing. We're getting them out of the
Yeah.
streets and the neighborhoods and stuff because there's a big encampment in a neighborhood and they're like, it's in our neighborhood. They're shitting on our porches. And it's like, give us a fucking break. First of all, they wouldn't be if they weren't in this fucking situation. Most of these people work full fucking time just like you do, you assholes. So like then the city's like, we're doing something about it. And then they just tear up their camp and pretend they're getting
Yeah, you take their shit and then they have to go find new shit. So you have one side, again, we believe this is the uniparty, it's the same side, it's just
Right.
supposed to like judo juke you in both directions so you're always off balance. But you have one side saying, yeah, we're gonna solve the problem, we're just gonna walk in and fucking shoot everybody. And then you have the other side saying, there is no problem, you're just racist. And I'm like, I don't think either of those is a winner. Like,
Right, yeah.
neither one wants to actually address any of the problem. Heck, we got, hey, new chat, we got Abby in the chat, makes a really good
Yes.
point. Then, if you leave without any economic progress, the crime will be the same. The way you
It will.
reduce crime is you feed people,
Feed
you house
people and
people,
give 'em money.
you give them something to fucking live for.
Yeah, and that's what I said, when I was talking about it this morning. That's what I was saying, like literally like, oh, give people money, the crime will stop. And that's literally true. Crime gets worse when the economy gets worse. And hey, let's funnel this into something I know something well about. There are no motherfucking jobs.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no jobs. And
Jobs to do
spit your coffee out your nose.
Oh.
Like there's no jobs. There's
Yeah.
so no jobs. They tried to fire the people who said that there's no jobs to say that there are no
That's
jobs.
another
There are no
government number
jobs.
though. The freaking federal unemployment numbers are just proven horse shit also. So it's like, I just want accurate information, man. I
Right.
wish I lived in a country where I didn't sound like a schizo all the time because I'm
Right.
talking about the real news. And
And then like every other fucking minute they're trying to build a goddamn data center in every corner of the fucking earth and scrape down the last of our fucking power and ruin the last of the world. And it's like those don't bring you fucking jobs. They take them away and they trash the water and bring the utility bills up because we do not have the infrastructure for it. The end. So when we never will because we never invested in it. And China does, and they are going to fucking blow us out of the water every goddamn time when it comes to anything like that. And they are becoming the superpower of everything.
how is
And
China
that is
solve
the
their
whole
crime
point.
problems? They just shoot a bunch of people? No, they just have an
So-
economy that's growing and they have
Yes,
more opportunity.
Yeah, and they built themselves with a mind towards the future, so they do have the infrastructure for it. We don't have the infrastructure for it because that's what happens when you strip your country for parts. So the way that we have gotten into our situation, we really cannot get out of it in a way that's ever going to compete on the world stage again. I would like to point out, because we bring it up all the time, Rome fell. It took about 500 years, but Rome fell because things kept getting handed to and spread out to the most incompetent, useless, idiot people who could rule anything, who kept trying to do war on each other, and everybody got sick and died. Plus, there was also a huge climate disaster at the same time, not generated by them,
You find
but
a
there was.
famine. One famine will knock
there
down
was
your
like some
empire
sort
once
of
it gets
like
weak
thing
enough.
that happened, and so ecological disaster plus incompetent leadership equals country falls, and that's all that there is to it. So we are in the
analogous to Rome because they were the global middleman. Rome didn't
Yes.
produce a ton, but the whole like all roads lead to Rome, that was talking about really like trade routes, where if you want to get a thing, a commodity, you must go through Rome and you have to pay Rome taxes, and that's how they maintain their empire. And that's us right now. We don't really produce anything, but every time you do it, that's why we have to blow up ships in Venezuela, because they aren't laundering their drugs through America.
Right.
They're laundering their drugs through Bitcoin, and so America doesn't get. You aren't paying Rome. It's fucking little bit of gold you're supposed to throw at them, us in this case, the U.S. Hey, I do want to mention, because we're getting a little low on time here, we have one final war crime. One new war crime dropped. It actually dropped in
you had a
2019.
quotation you wanted to read, I think. As
Oh,
well.
I wish I was gonna, but it isn't horribly relevant. It's just because I am finally actually reading through Capital itself. I've read a bunch of Marx and Lenin pamphlets, the shorter stuff, and now because if you don't have some little bit of base knowledge, it's like jumping into like an advanced physics textbook, having no like backing algebra or whatever to help you out with it.
Oh man, is it a war crime if it's complete fucking clown shoes and like
Yeah,
the
right.
dumbest fucking thing? Like,
It was just the thing I was
could have done.
The thing I was going to
Oh.
mention from Capital is that I was reading through, and there was a what the hell is it? There was a footnote where it's people arguing for pro-capitalist blah blah blah, and you see what they're saying here is it's not that capitalism is the problem, but simply this particular form of capitalism. I'm like, oh, like how people today say it's not capitalism, it's crony capitalism that's the problem. It's but like they made the exact same arguments 200 years ago.
Right,
So
yeah,
it's really
no.
funny to see.
Yeah, and I played that clip last week of Gavin Newsom saying that because he fucking knows if he takes the term, he's Trump, but knows what he's talking about. And if he takes the term socialism and equates it to calls Trump a socialist, he has equated socialism to Trump. So he's gonna be able to turn that base and make it sound like it's a bad fucking thing.
Trump's
Get
buying
people
up
to look his
national
way.
businesses, and they're like, well, Pepper, isn't that what you want? You want to nationalize industries? I'm like, well, not under the bourgeois government. It has to be under the dictatorship of the proletariat that we
Proletariat.
nationalize.
Yep.
So yeah, once again, the whole theory of bourgeois socialism that we probably live in America continues to become true. We're starting to buy. Hey, you know who else? You know what other ism is a blending of the corporate and government? Fascism. Okay, so when the corporations run your whole government. So anyway, in 2019, we did not just like a little war crime, like we directly sent soldiers to North Korea, and they killed a bunch of people. And North
Yeah, but
Korea,
this was a SEAL team.
yeah,
Like that, like it's SEAL Team 6, like famous SEAL Team 6. Like
the only SEAL team we know. So like the only I'm gonna kind of read through. This is a really long article. I was kind of shocked at how long it is, and the reason it's long is because the authors appear to be determined to make this seem cool, like a fucking like you write this. It sounds like you're reading somebody's like spec script for their like, oh, here's the story of what's gonna happen in this movie. Like how I'm gonna skip around here, but like how a top SEAL Team 6 mission into North Korea fell apart. And look, it's like a group of Navy SEALs emerged from the ink-black ocean on a winter night in early 2019. Like, what the?
a hero will rise.
Is this journalism or is this your
God.
fucking like porn? Is this gonna like end in a sex scene? And crept onto a rocky shore in North Korea, committing crime and being basically a de facto declaration of war. And the fact that Korea hasn't fucking done anything about it is really a sign of restraint, let us say.
Yeah.
God damn, they were on a top secret mission.
Not
so
accelerationist.
complex.
And that's
Yeah.
what they're always being told, that they are so accelerationist that they're gonna blow you up with a nuke any fucking time
Yeah.
they feel like
If
it.
they got a nuke, I was told they were going to destroy the fucking world. And they've had a nuke for like 5 years. What's happened? The objective was to plant an electronic device that would let the United States intercept the communications of North Korea. So they were there trying to bug the country, whatever, like having a good time doing, America first. Got to go fuck around in North Korea.
2019. Like this was
Yes.
like this is not
Right.
like yesterday. Like
This was after Trump and fucking Kim Jong had their had a meeting, which I view as a positive. I like when our leaders talk to each other. Like I don't think diplomacy is bad. People who will
Right.
criticize Trump for wanting to talk to Vladimir Putin, I'm like, well, I'd rather we talk to him than fucking try to bomb him. Like maybe talking is a positive. Maybe talking to other world leaders is good. So that seems like, oh cool, he actually went and talked to North Korea. That was historic. That's actually an achievement. That's one thing I would put in the Nobel Peace Prize pile. But guess what? It turns out it was maybe a cover so they could be doing this
Yeah.
shit behind the
Yeah.
scenes. So I'm gonna fly down here to where look. You see how long this is? Like, look, with communications blacked out, there was no way for the shore team to confer with the mini subs. Lights from the boat swept over the water. Like, look at this. Were they there? Was this fucker on the scene? Lights swept out over the water. It's like, how do you know, man? Like, is this like a tabletop game you've written? Are you the
like
DM?
that's how you know it's all like all the extra frivolosity here is how you know it's bullshit, because like this was clown shoes from the fucking get-go. Like
I'm
this
trying
was
to
a stupid plan and it was a stupid maneuver and it went stupidly. Like it didn't just go wrong. Like we have shit go wrong. Shit goes wrong. But like it's not supposed to at this level. First of all, SEAL Team 6, right? It's not supposed to go wrong, and it's not supposed to go this fucking badly yet. you
So
know.
I'm gonna read this and just keep keep in mind the whole like the fact that they write this like it's a narrative and not like a thing you're reporting on. When you're doing war reporting, usually you try to have like a neutral affect and you state the facts and here's what happened. But how they try to narrativize this as essentially they aren't directly trying to justify what ends up happening in this, but it sure kind of feels like it's supposed to soften your how you feel about it as an American reading this in the American news. With communications blacked out, there was no way for the shore team to confer with the mini subs. Lights from the boat swept over the water. The SEALs didn't know if they were seeing a secure. Anyway, they're sneaking in. They're in the water, and they come across some boats. To get you up to speed at this point, the SEAL Team
Some
6 or
boats.
whoever has some boats. A man from the North Korean boat splashed into the sea. If the shore team got into trouble, the nuclear-powered sub had a group of SEAL reinforcements standing by with inflatable speedboats. Farther offshore, okay, I'm trying to skip past where they're telling us like the military is really cool. They have all these fucking cool tools. The SEALs faced a critical decision: do we shoot this guy who we don't know who is and do a war crime, or do we leave? A mission commander was miles away on a
Trump's
big
gonna be pretty pissed if we leave without shooting anybody.
As the shore team watched the North Korean in the water, the senior enlisted SEAL at the shore chose a course of action. He shot this motherfucker. Other SEALs instinctively did the same. How do you fucking know? Are you in their head? This is like a Tom Clancy novel that we're reading here, and this is supposed to be war reporting from a war crime, from an act of war that happened in North Korea. Compromise and escape. If the SEALs were unsure whether the mission had been compromised before they fired, they had no doubt afterwards. The plan. I don't want like reading this because the fucking flowery language just like infuriates me. They shot a bunch of random fishermen. They shot a bunch of random North Korean innocent civilians. Also, fucking big ups to these random North Koreans who were like, I think that's an American soldier. Let's go fucking bust him. Like the fact that they had the sack, just be like, we're gonna go see what's happening.
What's up with this? Yeah, exactly.
Not like military fucking Navy SEAL fishermen. These are just
some guys. Just some dudes. Guys out fishing.
The North Korean security forces could be coming, or are these just random civilian fishermen that were shooting for no reason? There was no time to plant the device. The shore team swam to the boat to make sure that all the North Koreans were dead. Wow. They found
shooting civilians in boats abroad.
They found no guns or uniforms. Evidence suggested that the crew, which people briefed on the mission said numbered 2 or 3 people, had been civilians diving for shellfish. All were dead, including the man in the water. Man, what a cool fucking fanfic you wrote about this situation to try and soften the fact that we just gunned down a bunch of fuckers. Wow, at least for the first time since like the 50s, we're gunning down innocents in Korea. Like we took a break there.
Right.
Pulled the bodies in the waters to hide them from North Korean authorities. Jesus, man, this is so fucked. Imagine that North Koreans are in Florida, shoot a bunch of dudes walking around in waders, and then like, oh, they had to hide the bodies so America didn't find anything. Like, this is it. I'm like laughing because it's disgusting. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
the SEALs swam back to the
unbelievable. Like this kind of behavior. I mean, like obviously we know like we've come to expect this kind of thing from literally anyone in power in this country. Because this is our MO, it always is. Like, try to do a war, make money.
Ridiculous. But all the U.S. military personnel escaped unharmed. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, good news.
I was
good
really
news,
worried.
Everybody. SEAL Team Stupid fucking made it out okay. No problem.
If these Ranger fishermen had taken down one Navy SEAL, that would have been the funniest thing that could have happened. Not because I like when people die, of course, but imagine if just random fishermen took down a Navy SEAL. Or, more likely, they accidentally shot each other, which happens a lot in our wars. Like, wasn't like a massive percentage of our Iraq casualties friendly fire, because it's like, oops, sorry, shot at the wrong battalion because we're all so incompetent.
So stupid. So fucking stupid.
But anyway, yeah, that happened. Like, the fact that North Korea was just chill about this and didn't directly go to war.
Yeah, and not only are people not, because we're so desensitized to it, so not only are people not as outraged about them doing this, without anybody's knowledge, and then covering it up for a few years, but also then we get these fucking fan fiction stories that are like, actually, you don't understand how fucking rad it was.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, imagine the same thing, but it's like they're falling around people in Vietnam. A light shone out over the rice field. A Vietnamese mother was drinking her fucking coffee or whatever.
Yeah, right. Like
he leveled his scope at her
if
child.
Exactly. If you watched a movie on like Vietnam or World War II and it did that exact same sort of, you'd be like, this
disgusting.
is fucking gross.
Yes.
Like what the fuck? In the chat, Nathan Coyote says, "Did you cover the Hyundai ice raid?" Oh yeah, no, I was just thinking about that. Oh yeah, and then our time traveler 2 says, "Oopsie, friendly fire." So no, and that does kind of go, I guess, with this a little bit. Is I don't know if you heard about that, but they did. And once again, the argument here is the whole ICE nonsense is not. The government is not going after the people hiring illegal people and using them for slave fucking labor.
Trump says he's gonna do that when he's full of shit, though, but he says he's gonna.
Well, they're not. You know, like
know.
this basically, yeah, it's devil's advocate over here.
He says he's gonna, and tomorrow he'll say he isn't.
Like he says a lot of shit. So like, okay, so they're not going after the people that make the money, right? But they're constantly persecuting workers trying to survive. So they raided a Hyundai.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right? I've said it too many times.
Hyundai.
I've said it too many
That's how I say
times.
it.
It doesn't make sense anymore. But they raided a car plant where it was full of South Korean. You know, there's a difference. They're different Koreas. There's a wall.
He's doing the optics. He's trying to be like, look, we don't only fuck with Mexicans and Guatemalans.
Right.
We also
That's exactly
fuck
what
with
it
Koreans.
was. And then they did this whole thing about like, oh well, South Korea says they'll take them back. Yeah, I'm sure without consequence. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be fucking fine for those people. You know, like the
that's
people
the
getting
punishment.
persecuted and all of this are working people. Those people have fucking families. Those people have kids who were born here who have like now like who the fuck knows what's gonna happen there. There's been multitudes of stories of people being separated from like half of their family and have to leave children here with other people because they and their older children have to go. So this is just a nonsense showing of American bullshit.
It's like when they arrested like the one German tourist at the border. It's just to be like, look, optics. We're doing this.
Yeah, we did it. We're doing it. We do that. We go after everybody.
Everyone.
No,
yeah,
but
I didn't
also-
get detained again. I re-entered the country. Nobody stopped me or questioned me.
Yeah, and
I'm
then-
not working hard enough.
Right? And then you got to have more like communist flags. Like, and then what's that? I lost my train of thought. There was something to do with immigration, but
So
I
who
lost
else
it.
are we deporting at this time?
Well, yeah, it was something to do with immigration. Oh, no, Congress. What it is like it was, or no, Supreme Court just ruled that actually ICE can do whatever the fuck they want. Like a judge had been like, you can't do whatever the fuck you want actually, and if you hear somebody speaking Spanish, you can't beat them to death. But Congress is like, beat away, bitches. Like it's like they were just like, go at it, right? And then like just a few weeks ago, we had one of the liberal judges being like, we can't use it to do our own bidding. Bid. So
The tariffs were, of course, a hot topic, and like that was like I guess struck down by a judge. Also, I was like, that's why I just say every day it's you roll the dice. It's like Magic 8 Ball. Yes,
It
no,
is.
yes,
It
no,
is.
maybe, yes, no, yes.
Yeah, and then just quickly, I don't remember if I mentioned it in a solo show or we talked about it, but it's the whole publicity stunt of the alligator Alcatraz thing. Like,
So that didn't happen.
no, like they
didn't
get
build
okay.
it?
So what they do is they set up these fucking camps in the Everglades. They fill it full of people who have basically done nothing. They beat them and then starve them and treat them like shit. They start to revolt a little bit, and then some environmentalists are like, "You can't have that camp there," and they're like, "Okay, bye," and they fucking take it down in 2 seconds
Okay.
and get rid of everybody that was in
So
there.
So it did exist, and then they got rid of it.
Full on publicity fucking stunt. Like all of this is like they're trying to be like that's what this whole nonsense about the Department of War shit is. They just renamed it because they are trying to fucking chode up over the fact that they are like think that they are fucking dictators. He
I
thinks he's a
appreciate the honesty.
dictator.
I appreciate the honesty, personally.
Well, honestly, yeah, that is what it is. But
It was the Department of War for a long time. Like that's what it was up until like what 1930 or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
they think that they are some sort of like kick-ass assholes or whatever, and they're just morons on the world stage and domestically.
Because none of it pays your rent, none of it gets your eggs cheaper. It's all fucking
Yes.
distraction.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have the commentary has been like, oh, so this is gonna make my food fucking cheaper then? Is this gonna make my utilities go the fuck down? No.
Yeah.
So once again, that's why we come around to nullify the system. Boycotts, general strikes, getting together in mutual aid formations, doing things outside of the system that they aren't part of.
Stop voting and start making friends with your neighbors. That's how you do it. That's the only strategy we got right now.
No, we're not talking about like your literal MAGA neighbor. Fuck those people. We're talking
If
about
your MAGA neighbor has now decided that this guy's a fucking asshole, though, try to catch him because he's going to end up with Nick Fuentes otherwise. Try to be like, Commie, come here.
Yeah. That's the thing too. And then like so many.
If you're so inclined, like people like me, I look like a fucking chud. So people will talk to me about this shit. It's like, you're a fellow white guy. Let us speak. I'm like, well, surprise, actually.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. How often are like when honestly like a weird thing about being white that I don't know if all people know except maybe other white people is that like you will just casually be hanging out or at the grocery store or like doing an errand or whatever, and some other white will talk to you and they'll be like, "Hey, those blacks, right?" And you're like, "Oh my god!" Like you didn't even fucking weigh the risk here. Like you
It
didn't even
does.
care.
It's been a
Like
little
what
while,
you
but
were
that shit's
doing.
happened to me multiple times.
Like it's all the time. It's like you just straight up fucking did this. Oh yeah, Are You Time
It's
Traveler
like,
2 mentions that France's government fell apart again today. I don't have enough information on that to really comment, but it
yeah, I
happens all
didn't
the
even get to
time.
talk
Who
about
the fuck
Bolivia.
knows how French government even works? Do they even have one? Like I don't even know at this point.
Bolivia had another election. They fucking voted out their socialists, so now I'm pissed. So I didn't even get to talk about that. Maybe next week.
Yes.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Well.
round
Yeah.
this thing
Depending.
down. I gotta go to the
Yes.
bank actually. this
Yes.
time.
Well. But
Not the
depending
post
on whatever nonsense happens, we'll see what we get to next week. I always like we talk about what we're going to talk about before the show, and then it usually gets blown up anyways. So thank you for hanging out with us for our rant today. We really appreciate having you around. We will
It's a
be
good one.
back
It's like
next.
a fun tag team match. We were both going today.
Oh yeah, well that's what always happens when you come back and you've been away, and we're both like it's so frenetic and crazy. But like that, this shit makes you crazy. This is why we
Yeah.
have this. We don't have it for you guys. We have it so that we can yell at the
Yeah.
internet into the void.
It's why I advise people to do some international travel if you think like we do, because most of the world does. Like, you feel like a crazy person living here, and then but that's the thing, when you end up talking to people about their domestic issues, you can feel you can hear the brainwashing come out. You just need a little bit of separation. Americans, everyone, all humans have a hard time examining their own situation, but then you look at the same or similar situation anywhere else, and they can ping it like immediately. Like, it just seems so much clearer, and you just try to be like, well, you see how these two things connect these you can put this
Yes.
together.
Right. Well, yes. Okay. So yeah, Jared has some back of the country chores he's got to
I gotta
attend to.
convert my money back to American. That's really it.
And I got to look for jobs that don't exist. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know about any jobs, I need one. So I need some money. Thanks for hanging out with us again and putting up with our rant. We really appreciate you. As always, you can watch all of our shows, our past shows on our YouTube channel, on our Rumble. We're there. You can see everything. Thanks for hanging out. Take care of yourselves. Try not to stroke out over the issues, and I hope you all do well, and we will see you back here at the clubhouse for our next top secret meeting where no jerks are allowed. So take care, everybody. Bye. Maybe.